In this video, we're going to go through the customer setup. If I go down to into the customer module and down to the bottom of the menu options here, we've got a setup folder, and I'm going to expand that, and that's what we're going to have a look at first. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do on the training document is to amend the details on the UK consumer class template to have wholesale pricing. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the CRM module, I briefly explained how these customer templates work to put the correct details onto the customer record when we create it. Now, it's in here in the customer setup that we actually can see all the templates and we can go and amend them. So if I double click on customer class template, now what you'll see is that we've got lots and lots of templates. I think if I do view all, that we've got 478 templates. Now it's basically 2 templates for pretty much every country in the world. Okay, so we've got them for everything. Now basically these should be defaulting the correct details onto whichever country's account when you create an account for that country. Now what we're going to do is go in and amend the United Kingdom consumer class template. So if I search for United King or United Kingdom in there, it'll basically bring up any matching search results, and you can see we've got 3. Now the 2 that are actually being used for the United Kingdom are this business one and this consumer one. Now it's the consumer one we want to amend, so I'm going to double click on the consumer template, which takes us into it. Okay, so we want to amend this to have wholesale pricing from retail pricing. So down here we've got default price, and at the moment it's retail, and I'm just going to change it over to wholesale. Okay, and I'm going to click save, and then what we're then going to do is go back to the list option, and on the UK business template we're going to change it so that the default terms are 30 days net. So at the moment, payment term due on order, if I go in there, we've got net 30. And then I'm going to save and close on that. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is create some delivery routes. So into delivery route, and this is just a list where we can key them in. So I'm going to have route 1 and 002 route 2. Okay, in this screen it's slightly different in that the active flag doesn't automatically appear, so just make sure that you tick the active flag on both of them options. Okay, and then we'll save and close. The next thing we're going to do is look at the ship to templates and amend one of them. Now, similar to when you create a customer and you get a customer class template which defaults the details onto the customer record, we also have the same thing for ship tos. Now in Enterprise you can have multiple ship tos for one customer. So if you've got a customer base, say in the UK, but they may have other locations around the UK and maybe some even in France or Germany, you can actually create ship tos for all these different places. And then when you create a sales order or an invoice, you can select the ship to from the list. So basically the ship to class template holds some of the details that will go onto the ship to records when they're created. So what we're going to do is search for the United Kingdom again, and we're looking for the business ship to class template, and we're going to go down to the route, and we're going to change that and set it to be route number 1. Okay, and I'm going to save and close out of the ship to class template. Next thing we're going to do is look at debtor letters. So if I double click on the debtor letter option, you can see as standard in here we've got 130 and 60 day debtor letter already set up. Now what we want to do is actually create another debtor letter that we're going to have for 45 days. So for transactions between the 30 and 60 bracket, we're going to have an additional letter to send out to our customers. Okay, so to create a new one, we've got the new button on the toolbar again, and we're actually going to call this 45 days. So I'll have 45 days in there. The description is going to be data letter 45 days, and the days overdue is going to be 45. And the bit of text that we're going to put on this, if we send them this data letter, is please pay, or we'll send some dangerous toys around. Okay, so when I'm happy with that, if I click save and go back to the list again, we'll see the 45 days one in there now. Next thing we're going to do is create a new customer type. So customer type option. Okay, at the moment we've got a few in there you may or may not want to use for your new company. We're going to add another one in there called Toy Shop. Again, make sure it's ticked as active. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is go and create a new customer. So right up to the top of the menu there, you'll notice the first one is prospect. We've already created a prospect from the CRM module, so we're going to go straight into new customer. Okay, so again, this is very similar to creating a prospect. Prospects and customers in the database are pretty much identical. So our customer name, or our company name for this customer, is going to be A Toy Customer UK Limited. I'm just going to put a capital C on the customer. Okay, and the contact for this is going to be Mr. A Toy. Again, we can enter our postcode in here if we wish to, or we could leave it and enter it on the next screen. And this is going to be a business one. So as soon as I change that, you've seen it to select the business template. Okay, so if I click next, and I'm going to key in